3 billion life chances in exoplanets. June 27, 2019. 3 of every 4 stars in the universe have planets that could house living things in extreme conditions. The article below, by Daniel Mediavilla, was published on the site ALPA. 3 billion life chances in exoplanets. In the Star Trek universe, the first guideline of the United Federation of Planets prevents its members from interfering in the cultural development of alien civilizations. Those who do not have the technology to travel faster than light and get in touch with civilizations from other worlds are left without this knowledge until they reach it by their own means. Such a rule would have kept humans in solitude and would explain a paradox that intrigued Enrico Fermi years after helping to create the atomic bomb. If there are an almost uncountable number of planets and therefore immense possibilities for a civilization to arise in any of them, why is there no evidence that this has happened? 3 out of 4 stars could harbor life in extreme circumstances. According to one hypothesis, about 3 billion planets could be habitable in the Milky Way. As a delayed civilization, at least according to the parameters of Star Trek, the inhabitants of Earth must continue to explore little by little other planets for signs that tell if we are alone. This week, it was announced the discovery of a new solar system with 2 planets like ours at 12.5 light-years, very close in cosmic terms. These 2 new planets are at a satisfactory distance from Teegarden, their star, and astronomers, who used a telescope from the Calar Alto Observatory, Almeria, Spain, to do the feat, calculate that the temperature there would be moderate and there could be water surface, a basic condition for life as we know it. Difficult evolution, but the appearance of self-replicating beings, from microscopic animals to visible animals and machine-creating individuals to communicate between stellar systems, is not so simple. Otherwise, Fermi would not have been faced with a paradox. For starters, stars where planetary systems have been discovered in habitable regions have little to do with the Sun. All are red dwarfs, the most abundant stars in the universe, and thus are the setting where more exoplanets can be found. Because of their small size and the low energy they emit, they can almost never be seen from Earth without telescopes. To receive enough heat from its star, the planet must orbit very close to it, and that has consequences. Probably many of these nearby and supposedly habitable worlds, like the 2 of Teegarden, the system that surrounds TRAPPIST-1 or Proxima b, always show the same face to their star. This happens when an object of smaller size, such as the Moon in relation to the Earth and Mercury in relation to the Sun, is too close to another larger field, and this causes extreme conditions to be predicted in all these exoplanets. One face would be a boiling desert and the other a giant block of ice. Between these 2 hells, a range of a few miles wide where the temperature was adequate and the melted ice coming from the hidden face of the planet would make life possible. Even in this stronghold, however, conditions would not be ideal. Large temperature differences, such as those produced by hurricanes on Earth, but much larger, would generate winds that would sweep the surface of a world such as Proxima b, causing its plant and animal forms to exist, if at all, adapt so that they do not fly out against the ice wall on one side or are thrown into the burning desert on the other. Life on planets of this kind, the most abundant of the cosmos, would have an enemy perhaps even more formidable. Red dwarfs, much smaller than our Sun, do not have enough mass to stabilize the immense nuclear fusion reactor that warms their insides. Periodically, they emit radiation flares that would sweep away the atmospheres of their planets and annihilate living beings from their surface. One such cataclysm was observed in Proxima Centauri, the planet that orbits Proxima b, in March 2016. At that time, according to a group of astronomers from Spain and the United States, the red dwarf emitted a powerful explosion of light that multiplied its glow for 70. Although normally these bodies cannot be seen with the naked eye, for a few seconds Proxima Centauri could be observed from the southern hemisphere without the aid of technology. The surface of Proxima b must have been hell. The discovered planets would have one face scorched by heat and another frozen. Advocates that planets orbiting red dwarfs are places to seek life have some arguments in their favor, as well as the fact that 3 out of 4 stars in the Milky Way are such. On the one hand, a good magnetic field, such as the one that millions of years ago prevents solar radiation from incinerating life on Earth, could, according to some researchers, resist the onslaught of star X-ray bursts. Moreover, as the researcher Alberto González of the Astrobiology Center in Madrid said when Proxima b was discovered, much of this fury occurs when the star is young during its first million years of existence, to become a much less active star. Red dwarfs are smaller and shine less, but have a much longer life. Tea Garden, for example, was formed about 9 billion years ago, double our solar system, and may still have 10 trillion years of existence ahead. A lot of time for chance to generate circumstances in which life can arise. The Sun is only 10 billion years old and, unlike red dwarfs, its temperature increases progressively. The heat will make life impossible on Earth long before the collapse of our star. While developing technologies for traveling in space at reasonable times, the pursuit of extraterrestrial life can be frustrating depending on expectations. Not long ago, European Space Agency ESA Scientific Director Geether Hassinger said, "We will find signs of forms of life outside the Earth in the next few years. But it is better not to imagine beings more or less strangers who walk on legs and have exotic cultures." Life on Earth appeared a few 100 million years after the formation of the planet, but the arrival of animals took 3 billion years. Thus, it is less likely that the little green men have had time to evolve into some of the more than 4,000 extrasolar planets we have identified. Over the next few years, the construction of terrestrial super telescopes, as well as the launch of large space telescopes such as James Webb, will allow us to observe with certain precision the atmosphere of the new worlds discovered. Signs of biological activity will be traced there, but if found, it is most likely to be algae or bacteria like those that have modified the atmosphere and made it habitable for us billions of years ago. In addition, the technology to confirm the findings will take time to arrive, and sending a probe to study those worlds, even the closest ones, still looks like science fiction. There is one last worrying possibility about the presence of intelligent beings in the near universe. Some technology gurus predict that, in the coming decades, the advancement of artificial intelligence will provide autonomous general intelligences, capable of acting without having to receive our orders, and that can generate their own goals. In this vision of the future, machines could stand at our service and create an idyllic civilization in which robots would do our work, cure our diseases, and devise ways to obtain unlimited amounts of energy for humans. But that is not the only option. The universe could even harbor an extraterrestrial intelligence that was not alive. That was artificial intelligence, and artificial intelligence may also have goals unrelated to our well-being. Faced with the self-interests of living beings, such as food, sex, and the accumulation of power, machines could have other seemingly stupid goals, such as turning all the atoms of the universe into bits, including those that make up our bodies. Our hope of finding extraterrestrial civilizations to share experiences and knowledge may come across super-intelligent and inert beings willing to conquer the universe to turn it into an absurdity. The planets orbiting Tea Garden are in the universe 5 billion years longer than our Earth. The phases of evolution may have occurred in some of those worlds, and the intelligent life may have been replaced by an artificial intelligence that does not respect the first guideline of the United Federation of Planets and already looks to Earth with ulterior motives.